Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Adventurous Life. I hope everybody's doing well today. I've been wanting to do this video for the last couple of days because I noticed recently online there's been a lot of videos out here from YouTubers of all ages, of all genres, talking about how they done quit their job because of one reason or another. And I noticed that there's been a lot of people eating that crap up. Like it's the gospel truth or something. Like, if you don't like your job, just quit. Or I'm not working a 9 to 5 because it's slavery, because the wages are crappy. I don't like how my boss talked to me, so I'm gonna quit working 9 to 5. I'm gonna start my business and so on and so forth. And I just want to give some advice. Some advice which I wish when I was younger I would have took. But my dumbass didn't take this advice. So for those of you that are watching this video, now most of you that watch my channel are my age or older. So uh, for those of you that have, for lack of better terms, children. And when I say children, I'm not talking little ones. I'm talking for those of you that got sons and daughters that are in their, maybe they're in their 20s or they're in their early 30s, trying to figure life out. I want you to sit down with them and watch this video, because what I'm getting ready to discuss is how to go about thriving and living your best life working a blue collar job. I'm not even talking a blue collar job that's necessarily a high paying blue collar job. I mean, I'm talking any blue collar job out here. I'm talking a job to where basically you can get out of high school and you can get you a job. You don't have to go to no college. You don't have to take up any super long, inexpensive training. Just get out of high school, get the job, and you're good to go. Maybe you might have to go test for some kind of a license, like if you were getting a CDO or something. But other than that, that's about it. Now, it seems to be taboo in this social media era to work a 9 to 5, especially if that 9 to 5 happens to be a blue collar job. I mean, it seems like every other time I watch a video, either A, somebody done quit their job because, working 9 to 5 is slavery. We all heard that at this point before. Or B, you got a bunch of women on these dating sites like Kendra G. For those of you that are familiar with that show, they're they're talking about they don't want to date no man that works a blue collar job. He's got to make 6 figures or better. He's got to be educated and all that other bullshit. Now I'm gonna tell you guys how you can live your best life working blue collar. Now when I say living your best life, I mean I guess living your best life is objective. It depends on what type of life that you desire to live. Now, depending on what kind of life you desire to live, uh, I'm gonna tell you guys like this, and this is a piece of advice that I wish I would have took, but my dumbass didn't take it because I was a dumbass. So hopefully, for those of you that are in your 20s and 30s, and early 30s, you're a lot smarter than I am, and you take this advice, or you take some advice that's intelligent from somebody else. You don't be a dummy like me, and now I'm in my mid 40s and I'm still having to work because I haven't saved up enough money at this point to retire and do what I truly would like to do, which is to grow this YouTube channel and travel all over the country. So this is what I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet. This is what you ought to do. Like, as soon as you graduate high school, I mean, And again, this is for those of you that are going to work blue collar jobs. I mean, for those of you that are going to go to college and you're going to earn your degree and you're going to join the white collar world, okay, congratulations, do what you do. I wish you luck. But I can't really speak on that because that's not where I'm at. I work blue collar, been blue collar my entire adult life. So that's what I'm going to be speaking on this video. So here's how it goes. When you, as soon as you get out of high school, get you a full-time 40 plus hour a week job. In fact, what I would encourage you guys to do is, and I'm talking to those of you that are in your 20s and 30s, maybe you're 18 and you're watching this video, this is what I would encourage you to do. From age 18 through maybe your late 30s, while you're young, while you're physically at your strongest. Those are the years that I would encourage you to work your ass off. I'm not saying don't go out here and date. I'm not saying don't go out here and not have a good time. Now, when it comes to dating, do yourself a favor. Don't chase these women. Just live your life. Be on your purpose. And if you come across a woman that you think is decent and you two strike up a decent conversation and the chemistry is on point, then do what you do. But don't be a dumbass like me and go out your way trying to be in some kind of a relationship, because it ain't going to be worth it, man. You're just going to mess up your whatever goals you may have initially, you're going to mess it all up. So don't do that. Don't be dumb like me. Be smart. So what I would encourage you to do from age, let's say, from the day you graduate high school up until you're in your mid to late 30s. Those are the years where you want to work your ass off. You want to make as much money as possible. And it's not going to be enough to work hard. Like when I say work your ass off, I'm talking, if you're working a job that only works you 40, you know what? You need to get you a second job and work another 20, work 60 hours a week. If your job offers you overtime, you need to go ahead and take advantage of the overtime and work it. If you work like at the factory or warehouse and maybe overtime is mandatory, rather than coming up here on social media and crying like a little baby about how you don't want to work OT, how you ain't got no life, you can't go do what you do with your friends because your employer is working the shit out of you. You know what? Just shut the hell up and work and get your money. That's my best advice for you, for those of you that want to cry like a little baby. It's like, you know what? Be a man or a woman. Be an adult. Shut the hell up. Get your money. Now, primarily, I'm talking to you fellas. I mean, what I'm saying, it can apply to the ladies. But, I'm a man. So, primarily, so the people that I'm addressing on this video are the men. So, let me make that clear. I should have made that clear at the beginning, but oh well. So, for those of you men that are crying about working hard, you know what? Shut the hell up and work. Ain't nobody give a damn about how you feel. Ain't nobody care about your dumbass friends. So just shut the hell up and work and get your money. And speaking of money, another thing you're going to want to do, and you're going to want to start this, again, you're going to want to start this as young as possible, like preferably when you're 18, 19, just getting out of high school. You're going to want to, and again, for those of you parents that are around my age, you're going to want to take your son or your daughter to a, you're going to either want to take them to a financial institution, or maybe for those of you that go to church or you go to certain gatherings, maybe you might know someone that knows a lot about investing, and you're gonna want to take your son or your daughter to those type of people, and you're gonna sit down with them and figure out some mutual funds that your kid can invest in. Like maybe they can start low, like at $100 a month, and then as their income increases and they get to bump it up to $200 a month, and then as they start to grind and now they're working 60 plus hours a week, they can invest in upwards of, let's say, $400 to $500 a month. And now if they invest, let's say, $400 a month, and they do it, so for those of you that like in your 20s and 30s, if you invest, let's say, $400 a month, and you do that, you know, do that all the way until you get into your mid 30s. Now, obviously, when you get into your mid or late 30s, you're going to have a shitload of money. How much? I don't know. It all depends on. Now, I would say, this is not financial advice. Disclaimer here. This is just something that I would advise you to do. This is something that I wish I would have done, because having I done that, I would have been a lot better off today. But if you do that, by the time you get to be, let's say, 35, 36, 37, 38 years of age, I mean, you're probably not going to have enough to where you can just say, F work, I retire, I'm gone, I'm done with it. You're going to still have to work. But by the time you get into your late 30s, you'll have enough money set aside to where you can kind of let off the gas a little bit. Like rather than working 60 hours a week at the warehouse, or rather than working a shit ton of hours a week at, I don't know, as a plumber. Maybe, you can let off the gas. Like maybe you can find a way to where you can do what you desire to do and work less hours. So I would say from the time you get out of high school up until at least, what let's say, 35, those are the years where you work hard and you work smart. Now, I would say from age, let's say, 35 I would say once you get to be age 35, 35 and older, we'll say 35 to, I don't know, we'll just say 35 or older. Those are the years where, yeah, you're going to still have to do some type of work. But after the age of 35, you can let off the gas a little bit, and rather than having to work hard, you can put more emphasis on working smarter. Now, what I mean by working smarter is maybe you can take the work that you love to do and turn it into a business. Or maybe you had some business idea, but now that you got a little bit of money stashed away for retirement, now that you got a little bit of FU money stashed away as well, because remember, you've been saving $400 a month since you were 18. Now you're 35, so you got a crap ton of money saved up. You got FU money, you also got your retirement money. So now at age 35, you can focus more on working smarter. Like, you can take what you love to do and turn it into a business. Now, businesses, as some of us realize, are not going to always be successful. So, you can try your business maybe on the side. Like if you want to play it kind of sort of safe, you can do your business on the side. And then rather than working 60 hours a week at the 9 to 5, you can work 40 hours a week. Or get a job to where you'll be able to work only 40 hours a week. If you're currently working for an employer that demands overtime. Now, if you like your job, you don't mind working you don't mind continuing to work hard, then do what you do. But I would say from 35 to, let's say, 65, because I say 65 is a good age to retire, provided that your money is on point. Now, obviously, things can, as the years go by, the age of SSI could change. But for right now, just for, for right now, let's pretend that things don't change in terms of the retirement age. I mean, for retirement is 67. So I guess if you want to, you can work until 67 and maximize your SSI benefits. And plus, you'll have a crap ton of money saved up in your mutual funds and maybe in a Roth IRA. So you'll be able to have that money as well. So therefore, by the time you get into your, what let's say, mid to late 60s, even your early 60s, if you wanted to retire at 62. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just something. This is just a suggestion that I wish I would have thought about when I was younger. Because having I thought about this when I was younger, I would be out here doing YouTube full time and not working my job, and not working my 9 to 5. And I think this is going to be the best advice for those of you that want to exit working 9 to 5 as soon as you can. I mean, all this other crap about you're going to quit your job, you're going to live in your van by the river because, working in the 9 to 5 is slavery. I mean, I just think, I understand the frustration of working a 9 to 5. I do understand. I'm not so detached from reality that I don't understand. I perfectly understand. But I also understand that at the end of the day, I got bills to pay. Y'all got bills to pay. And I'm fairly sure that the vast majority of you are not going to want to live in the van by the river for the rest of your life full time. I mean, many of you think you do. Many of you think you can do it. And then when you get out there, you're gonna find out, this van life this ain't the way, man. I can't do this van life full time. You're gonna be like me. You're gonna get out here, you're gonna try van life, and you're gonna find out quick. I can't do this van life stuff full time. I can do it part time, but not full time. And so, but yeah, I just wanted to make this video because there's been a lot of other videos out here addressing the 9 to 5, uh, 9 to 5 madness. I'll just say, and just a lot of bad advice out here. A lot of bad advice. I mean, like right now, this YouTuber, his name is the hell his name. The channel is Siota Tim. Now, do I did do it. Now, this was like back, I want to say about a year ago, close to a year ago. I did a reaction video off of his channel on this channel. This is back when his channel was a lot newer. But recently, Siota Tim has been catching a lot of slack because, people are upset because, they call him a liar, they call him a scammer because apparently he's been giving bad advice, bad retirement advice. He tells people to retire at 62, and then he calls people's job a prison job, and then come to find out his finances aren't exactly the best. And that's, and I'm not going to elaborate on Siota Tim. That's not what I do. I'm just bringing up that briefly because that's another thing that got me wanting to sit down and make this video. I was going to do a reaction video on Siota Tim, I'm not going to lie, but then I got to think, you know what, I'm not doing that shit, man. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and trash another YouTuber. I don't agree with some of his advice, But whatever. I figure I'll just make my video and y'all can watch my video. If you vibe with what I say, you vibe with what I say. If you disagree, you disagree. It's all good. But I think young people need to I think young people need to change their attitude about work. It is not bad to work a blue collar job. It is not bad to work a 9 to 5 job, provided that you got a plan of how you're going to work that job, of how you're going to allocate the money you earn from that job. It is not bad to work 60 hours a week, provided that preferably you do all that in your 20s and 30s. That way when you get into your 40s, you ain't got to be doing all that craziness no more. You can scale down a little bit and think of ways to work smart. So provided that you got a plan in place, a plan that's real, a plan that's logical, you know, a plan that makes sense. Provided that you've taken the time to think of how it is that you want to live the rest of your life. Or you at least have an idea of how you want to live your life. Like, what kind of house do you want to live in? What type of, what type of climate do you desire? Stuff like that. Provided that you've taken the time to think about that as well. I'm here to tell younger people that, if you're out here thinking about quitting your job and living van life, thinking that it's going to be easy, you're going to just go work some little crappy gig job just so you can live in a van full time and live your best life. I'm telling you, for those of you that are thinking like that right now, you don't watch all the TikTok videos that you can stand for the day of people crying and complaining about they work too hard, jobs don't pay nothing, and just a bunch of complaining. I invite you people to change your attitude about work. You see, the people that are complaining about they ain't making no money, they're working too hard, it's not fair that I'm 50 and I'm still having to work as hard as I did when I was 20. Now, for people my age that are sitting around and complaining about that type of stuff, I'm going to be real, man. It's because many of us fail to be financially responsible when we were younger. Like I tell you guys, if I would have been financially responsible when I was in my 20s and 30s, I would be out here traveling the country doing YouTube full time. I wouldn't be working on 9 to 5. I would probably be talking to you guys from my van, not from my living room. But it is what it is. But since I do enjoy my house, that's why I don't mind working. I understand that I fucked up a lot of money back when I was in my 20s and 30s. And I did a lot of other dumb shit too. And I take responsibility for all that. So for those of you that are a little older, like you're my age or older, and you're crying about the economy, you know what? Take some accountability. Take some self-responsibility. Teach these younger, if you got sons and daughters, teach the younger generation. Educate the younger generation on some of the mistakes that you made. That way, they got a chance to, if they're making the same mistakes you're making, they can turn stuff around and they can be much better off than many people that are older, because they're not going to be out here making those same mistakes. Alright, this video is getting long, so hopefully you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Hopefully you guys got something out of the video. And on that note, Have a good day. Stay blessed. I'll catch you guys on the next one.